Oh, yeah. Welcome to Big Boof Bets, Get That Money podcast. It is week 11. I'm Nate Stephenson, still on the road for work, but bringing the podcast to the people. Big Boof, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing good, brother, man. Looking forward to talking some bets this week.
Hey, man, bro. Hey, this is what I call dedication, you know? Still getting it done, still doing the work. I believe we have someone keeping my seat warm back home here for me.
Yes, sir, we do. We got a special guest here. We got T-Bone, Tony Guarino in the house. He's a fellow NFL betting shark. Is there, Tony? How you doing today, man?
Doing well.
T-Bone in the house.
You want to introduce yourself? Say hello. Say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. Not much to say. Just happy to join in the action. For all you fans of your favorite sports betting apps out there, you can find me locally at Tone Thugs and Harmony, cleaning up the charts, so to speak. You'll probably see me on the ticker up top now and again.
Come see the Tone. Come see the Tone. Come see the Tone.
Frequently on the ticker. But yeah, excited to contribute and help steer the ship here.
Well, thanks for joining the show tonight, man. We're happy to have you.
Indeed, Tone. Good to hear you, buddy.
All right, let's do a little quick recap from last week. Personally, I had a pretty good day. It included some college betting. Illinois, in particular, won me a lot of money. Illinois at plus 15.
You guys were going nuts on the Illinois.
Yeah, me and one of my old frat brothers, we were really enjoying the result of that one there. Game didn't start great, but they pulled through at the end. So
the group chat was hilarious.
Got a lot of units from that one, and then NFL wise, I pretty much broke even. So I personally had a good weekend.
That's good to hear, man. You had a better weekend than me, but
I know you did. I know the Saints really screwed you up.
The Saints weren't kind. They were definitely involved in the get out of jail free projects, but I live bet the shit out of that Monday night game.
Live unit recovery.
Live unit recovery was in progress and very profitable, and I was very happy. Quite frankly, that combined with my pregame teaser of the Seahawks and the Thursday night game, which we will be getting into here shortly. As long as the Steelers cover 7.5, which I feel pretty damn good about, I'm almost even for last week. So considering the debacle that happened on Sunday, I can't really complain about that.
Well, that's good. Let's hit a little recap of the locks from last week.
Indeed.
So we went 2-1. The Bills we had at plus 3. They were a push against Cleveland. We had the Lions at plus 2.5. And I would like a mulligan on this one personally, but like everybody else, you know, we're kind of stuck with the bet. Obviously, Stafford didn't play. We didn't get that news until Sunday morning.
Yeah, everyone was pissed.
You know, I happen to be playing against Stafford in fantasy, so I pick up Driscoll just to make sure the dude doesn't have another QB option. I'm in a 2-quarterback league, and my team sucks so much I wasn't able to win anyway, so it didn't even help. But what can you do? So I got screwed like extra on that one. We had the Cardinals plus 4.5. They did cover for us. We had the Dolphins at plus 12.5. Not only did they cover, they won. And then we had the Rams minus 3.5. And I think we learned a little bit about the Steelers in that one. The Rams did not cover. They lost. So we went 2-1. That brings our total to 17, 15, and 2 on the year. A little lower than where we want to be. We're at a little over 53% right now. So we're looking for a big week. Try and get above that magic number of 60 before the season's over.
Amen, man. Amen to that.
Getting some more money around here.
Amen to that. Also, you know, if you've been taking that sneaky Dolphins money line the last couple weeks, like me, like I may have said to, you're welcome.
Well, we ready to get rolling with this week here?
Indeed, let's do it, baby.
All right, let's jump right into it. We got the Thursday night divisional showdown. between the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland laying 3. The over-under at 41.
Cleveland is laying 3 points. Why? Full ball sack on the Steelers here. Like, seriously, how are the Steelers still getting 3 points? If anything, at worst, this should be a pick 'em, just because the Browns are at home. I'm sorry, man. Steelers are hot. Winners of 4 or 5. Defense is on a roll. Give me the Steelers. Like, you're giving me 3 points. I feel like even if the worst case happens for the Steelers and they lose this game, I don't see it being by more than a field goal. So if you're telling me a worst case scenario, I'm going to push. I am extremely happy about that. Give me the Steelers with the points, baby. And I'm going to be taking them on the money line, quite frankly, and some stuff. I feel that good about it. I'm in.
Yeah, I agree with you on all accounts. Excuse me. Like we've kind of talked about all season, Cleveland is weak on the offensive line, in particular at the tackles. TJ Watt and Bud Dupree have had excellent seasons, and they just continue to get better every week. The Steelers' defense as a whole and the team as a whole has been much better since Minkah Fitzpatrick came over from the Dolphins.
Ed Reed 2.0.
Nate called it a couple weeks ago via text message too. He called him Ed Reed 2.0. I told him to put the anointing oil away a little bit, but his performance so far has been outstanding. So I just need a bigger sample size before I go making those sort of declarations. But I will let it be known that if he does get to that point, you were on it early. I will give you credit on that one. Beyond that, I mean, you hear guys talking about the last couple of days how Cleveland started to figure out on offense. And let's keep it real here, people. They scored 19 points last week. That's hardly an offensive explosion. I know it's against a good defense, but 19 points does not qualify as an offensive explosion. So I'm sorry. I am not on Cleveland. And again, I mean, they won last week by 3. So worst case, we're pushing. Give me the Steelers +3. They're in my top 5. And we got Lock City, baby, on a Thursday.
Top 5 as well, baby. Lock it in.
All right.
Get that money.
Moving on to our Sunday 1 o'clock games. We have the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore laying 4, and the over-under at 49.5.
Ooh, this is honestly, this is a really fun game. This is gonna be a really fun game to watch. You have 2 quarterbacks just balling out here, man. Lamar is on fire, taking the league by storm. You have Deshaun Watson, who has quickly become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't think you could go wrong, quite frankly, either way on the spread here. I'm going to stay away. I'm gonna pass on it, but I'm really excited to just watch the game. If you made me, I'd take the points with Houston, but this is one of those ones just with the capability on both sides of the ball here, for both teams, offensively. What I mean, I could see it going either way. So don't feel comfortable picking a team. I do like the over here. I do think it's going to be some points to put on the board. So 49.5, I could easily see this hitting 51 or more. So, yeah, I like that. I think the best bet of this game is the over. And if you made me pick the spread, I'd take the Texans, but still not feel super comfy about it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I would lean Texans +4 as well. Just an amazing little graphic I saw this week talking about how well Lamar Jackson is playing and how good he's been through his first 16 career starts now. He has more wins than Patrick Mahomes had at this point, more rushing yards than LaDainian Tomlinson, more yards per attempt than Aaron Rodgers, a higher passer rating than Tom Brady, and a higher completion percentage than Drew Brees. So you can say what
dude.
you want about how it looks and how much you trust it and this and that. The production has been outstanding for the man, and I do. I just continue to be impressed every week. So
Are you building a player on Madden?
I know,
or a
man.
Marvel
It's
Super
just
Hero?
like holy crap. So the next thing he needs to do is go out and win some big playoff games, and he's not going to be able to do that for another couple months. So until then, I'm very
That's
impressed with the man, and I'll just be watching. You know, I hate the Ravens, but I got to confess I am a fan of Lamar Jackson. I just have to confess that. You have to bring it back in here. This is a betting show.
That's a hell of a
My
stat.
favorite pick, I agree with you.
stat.
My favorite pick would be the over. So what was that? 49.5, I think. Love to see it get to 49. You know, that's a 7 touchdown checkpoint there. But 2 great quarterbacks, 2 average defenses. Over's my favorite.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All
I'm ready to move on.
All right, so moving on, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers laying 5.5. The over/under at 49.
So it is my understanding that Hooper is out for the Falcons, as well as Freeman is most likely out. I think, quite frankly, last week was just that one game. The Falcons were just kind of standing up and just almost kind of their last. I would call it a victory lap because there haven't been very many victories for Atlanta this year, but almost sort of like that old fighter standing up and just be like, "Hey, we still got one in there every so often." I think last week was a pride game for them. I think they know their season's done already, but they knew they were playing one of the proclaimed best in the league in New Orleans, and they just wanted to stand up and be like, "Hey, you know what? We can still play. We can still play with the best when we put a good game together." And I really think that's a lot of what last week was. And even so, it still took a huge toll on their team. Like I said, they lost Hooper, they lost Freeman. Ryan's still hobbled. So yeah, I expect a bounce back game from Carolina at home here. It wouldn't surprise me. This is a 10, 11 point victory. So give me Carolina. Laying the points. Not my top 5, but they're close. They're close. I like Carolina here to win for sure.
Yeah, I kind of see it going the same way. They're at home. Carolina got stuffed at the 2-yard line to finish the game last week in a snowy one up in Green Bay. But besides that, I kind of with you. I think we saw kind of the Falcons' best football last week. Hooper's out, and kind of just all the reasons you said there. I'm with the Panthers, but agree. Still a division game. Not quite top 5 for it. I think the spread's pretty much where it should be, and I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, I agree. On to the next one.
Okay, so moving on to the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. Detroit is getting 4.5, and the over/under is 48.5.
All right, so this was a game I jumped on immediately earlier in the week at 3.5 because I knew that if it came out that Driscoll was going to be the starter, which it seems to be, there's no confirmation either way, but to me the signs seem to be pointing in that direction. So, and it's already gone up to 4.5, which leads me to believe I was right in my speculative bet. I like the Cowboys to win the game no matter who's a quarterback for the Lions this week. I just think the Lions are a team on the cusp. Maybe, they get that extra player they need or two. I think next year they could be a surprise team, but this year they're a little banged up. I think they're just there's a player or two short. So I like Dallas to win, not with Stafford most likely not playing. I like the spread better, 3.5. You get up to 4.5. It makes me hesitate a little bit more because Dallas has played some close games against subpar competition. They seem to have a little bit of get up for the good ones, not up for the bad ones type of thing going on for them. So I'm staying away at 4.5 or higher.
Yeah, this is a stay away for me as well. I guess I am a little higher on the Lions than you and a little less high on the Cowboys, and the uncertainty at quarterback still it's just too much to scare me away. I don't want any part of this.
All right.
All right. So we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts laying 3 in the over-under at 43.5.
I immediately jumped on the Jags +3 when I saw this on Monday when I was looking at the Week 11 lines. I honestly I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean you have Foles coming back, and you either have a third string quarterback playing for the Colts or a hobbled Brissett. And let's be real, like the Colts weren't an offensive juggernaut with Brissett in there. They were a solid team, but an offensive juggernaut, hell no. Like every game this season still has been decided by less than a touchdown for them this year. So I'm sorry, man. Like with the uncertainty of what's going on with the Colts at quarterback, when I saw that the Jags were dogs, I jumped on that immediately. And quite frankly, I might regret it if Brissett is proclaimed the starter, because I think that line's only going to grow. So, I mean, if it grows, I'm putting more money on the Jags. Give me the Jags. +3. They're in my top 5 all day.
You know what, man? I can't argue with your logic. Like, there's a big part of me that wanted to put them in my top 5, which is a little bigger than 5 this week. But I don't know. It's Jacksonville. They're on the road. The Minshew stuff is worn off. We got Foles coming back now. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Foles. The Colts need it. I mean, the Colts are still playing meaningful football here. So it's only – the Jags are no doubt. It's only a field goal. The Jags are the original parlay killers. And I don't know. I just don't want a piece of this one. I kind of want a piece of it, but I'm going to stay away.
I want a piece of it.
All right,
I want a piece of it.
In the effort to keep it PC here, let's move on to the next game.
You saw
I always know where you're going. So, moving on, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins.
Let's circle those wagons, baby.
Uh-oh. Dolphins getting 6 points here. Over under at 41.
So I may have said to our boy here that Tone, that when the Bills play the Eagles, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the magic might be running out. He's like, no, Bills all year, baby. Well, yeah. I think it's one of the tools of a smart bettor is learning when to get off the train. Ride that horse as much as you can, and then start to read the signs. And sometimes, we're all guilty of letting the girl that brought us there being a little too loyal. I've done it myself. So, yeah, I think the Bills' magic is running out a little bit here. I still think they're going to win. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Dolphins are still the Dolphins. They got Fitzmagic breathing a little life into the team, but Miami still wants to lose. The Bills still beat Fitzmagic by 10 the last time, and even then, that was a late Bills had a late touchdown to widen the margin of victory there. But still, this is, I believe, the first game that I can recall since the Redskins, if I'm remembering right, that the Dolphins have not been double-digit dogs. So I could see the Bills winning by a touchdown or more, but not super confident in that. I'll maybe throw the Bills on a money line or something on the pad a parlay, but beyond that, not super confident much.
Here's the thing. I'm not top 5 in them or anything, but I am still riding the Bills train, baby. Again, same thing. We're 6-3. We're still playing meaningful football here. The Dolphins have been covered machines, but like they have had double digit spreads on them for like all season since like week 1. So now they've won the last 2 games, so who cares what the spread was in that case? But I don't know, man. I mean, the Bills beat them by 10 in the first game. Fitzpatrick did play that game, so we've already covered that once. I don't see why we can't do it again. And I'm still riding with the Bills. If you're making me, I'm taking the Bills -6. They lose this one or they don't cover this one, then I will officially get off the train. But for at least one more week, I am circling the wagons, baby. Let's go. Bills, let's
go. All right.
This is recorded, so
it's documented, baby. Go ahead.
Let's hope that train doesn't derail.
Documented.
Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings laying 10.5. The over/under at 40.
Wow. So my initial reaction to that big ass spread, I don't like that. Wow. Yeah, the Vikings are a lot better than the Broncos, but 10.5, man. Like the Vikings only beat the Redskins by 10 at home. No, like I think I'd feel better. I mean, give me the Vikes at a touchdown. I could roll that way.
Adjustment
maybe,
just because of home. Your typical 3-point adjustment, but it's an over.
Yeah, it's not even 10.
What?
So that like the only thing I would feel mildly comfortable with this game would be we'll go back to one of my old reliables. I'd do a halftime full time. I believe that's at minus. You can get that at about -200. I'd feel good about that. But beyond that, hell no to that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think your best bet there is the halftime full time, and that'll get you your best payout with something that you can feel good about. You know. Now, that being said, I mean, that can burn you. I mean, that got us on the Saints. I know I had one with the Saints like that last week. So, you know, nothing's 100% in gambling. But I'm with you. I think that's our best option for something that you can feel good about.
I think the Saints are feeling a whole lot of burning. And speaking of that, moving on to our next game, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks getting 5.5 with the over/under at 50.
So I think New Orleans gets back on track this week. -5.5. So we're under a touchdown. I do think they win by at least 7. So I do like that bet. But honestly, my favorite bet of the game is 50.
That's correct.
50 is the total, correct? 50 is the total. I love the over here. You have Tampa Bay has covered that 6 times and pushed once.
That's out of 50. The last 7. That's not just in general.
Yeah.
That's how the last 7, the worst that has happened
the
is
last
a push.
7 games. Sorry. Yes, correct. And that only happened once, and they covered the other 6. So I feel pretty damn good about that. Combine that with the fact you got Winston at quarterback who's going to score points, whether it be for his team or the other team. That's going to happen. That's part of the reason that probably the over normally hits, because he's either scoring or setting the other team up with great field position. So, yeah, I like a nice rebound game for the Saints here. I like them to cover. I like them to win, and I like the over. The over is definitely my top 5, and I
certainly do. I love the over here. You already said it. I mean, it's been 6 out of the last 7 we're covering. The other one we just had a push. Tampa Bay's got a solid run defense. Their pass defense is not good. And offensively, I mean, Tampa Bay's got some good weapons. So I think that's why they play in the types of games that they play. Arians is an aggressive guy. Peyton is an aggressive guy. So I see this game going over 50, no problem. And you can go ahead and put it in my top 5, which means we got lock number 2 of the week.
Lock it in, baby. Get that money.
Godwin and Michael Thomas, DFS all day.
Amen.
Points. Okay, moving on to our final 1 o'clock. We got just a straight burner of a game here. We got the
Game of the week, right?
Game of the week. Our New York Jets at the Washington Redskins. Skins laying 2 with the over-under at 38.5.
So you're telling me Dwayne Haskins is a starting quarterback for the Redskins, and he is laying 2 points, right? Jets! Let's go! Dude, top five it. Enough said.
I agree. I mean, the only thing that needs to be said is Dwayne Haskins is starting for the Redskins in an NFL football game. So to me, this should be Jets minus like 15. Sadly, they can't score 15 points, but they could probably win 7-3 and cover this, and we're good to go. So I'm right with you, baby. Give me the Jets. Top 5 it, lock it in, and get that money.
All right, we've made it to our 4 o'clock slate. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers laying 10.5 or over under at 45.
Yeah, 10.5 for the Niners. I know they're at home, but no Kittles, no Sanders. The Cards only lost by 3. Granted, a little backdoor action, but still, only lost by 3 at home when the Niners had a healthy Kittles and Sanders. I think the Cards, they're as I've been saying, I'm getting on board. I think they're a steadily improving team. They honestly were a late mistake against Tampa Bay last week from winning the game outright, even though they still covered, as we talked in the show. So I think they got the mojo working in Arizona. I think there's good things happening down there. So give me the Cards.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think San Francisco definitely misses Kittle. And Sanders is officially out, or are we just not sure yet? Yeah, I mean we're definitely going to miss him. You've seen his impact since he came over. And like you said, I mean, what was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever? I mean, the Cardinals covered. They were within 3. So I'm with you, man. Cards plus 10.5. Top 5, baby. Lock it in.
Top 5 for me. Lock it in and get that money.
All right. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Oakland Raiders. Raiders laying 10.5, and they're over under at 49.
Oh,
yes, they do.
Cincy sucks so bad. So definitely love the Raiders to win. Definitely love the Raiders halftime, full time, which is only minus 175. I think there is absolutely no way that the Raiders are losing at either of those 2 points, whether it be the halftime or the game as a whole. So I definitely like that. I think the best bet with the best odds, honestly, is the halftime line of Raiders minus 6.5, because I'm trying to avoid a potential backdoor cover by Cincy, which can happen sometimes in these lopsided affairs. So I like the Raiders to start strong, and you're giving me under a touchdown here for minus 110. Yeah, I love that. Give me the Raiders minus 6.5 at the half. That is a top.
Yeah, I love that pick as well. I'm glad you found that one, man, and I appreciate you sharing it with me during our discussion before the show. Kind of similar, but I guess the opposite of what you were talking about with staying with the team or getting off a team. You commented how I did not like the Ravens last week at minus 10.5 against the Bengals, and we saw the result. Well, a man can only admit when he was wrong and learn from his mistakes here. I'm with you, man. Cincy sucks. for me, Andy Dalton is clearly the better quarterback and should be in the game. So the fact that they have Finley in here, who is clearly not the future of the team, that says to me that Cincy is not necessarily trying to play competitive football. So one could say something of that nature. So I love the Raiders at -6.5 at halftime. We avoid any sort of backdoor stuff. And that is top 5 for me as well, which means it is a lock as well. And let's get that money.
Get that money.
On to our final 4 o'clock game. We have the New England Patriots at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia getting 3.5 in the over-under at 44.5.
So this has been quoted before, but I'm going to say it one more time. If you blindly bet against the Patriots, you will only cash 40% of your tickets. That is very bad and not very profitable. So if you're going to bet the spread, bet the Patriots. Having said that, the Patriots scare me a little bit offensively. And let's just say their competition or lack thereof scares me a little bit as well. Their only competitive game that they played against a good team was against Buffalo, and they only beat them by 6. The other good team they played in Baltimore, granted it was a big game for Baltimore at home, but still, Baltimore scrubbed them, man. Like Lamar Jackson showed them what a new age quarterback is all about. So you have Bill Belichick with an extra week of prep. That's always scary for anybody. So, Phillies at the same time for me, Philly's one of those teams that seemingly can give New England, I don't know, just for some reason can give New England problems. I'd lean New England laying the points, but I definitely talked myself out of it.
I did not talk myself out of it. I love New England here. They are coming off of a loss and a bye week. For me, if you were going to pick a weakness on the team, it is their run defense. Philly's been a little better with Sanders, but I mean, I don't really consider Philly to be an excellent rushing team. Their wide receivers have been average at best this season. They're going up against the New England pass defense that is as good, if not the best in the NFL. I just don't see the Eagles covering this. I like the Patriots. I like them by a touchdown, if not more. And they are in my top 5. And I can't help it. I top 5'd all of the 4 o'clock games here. How about that? That's going to be an exciting round of games for me on Sunday.
You won't be able to take your 4 o'clock nap.
You beat me to it. I was just going to say, hopefully you can stay awake for our Sunday night matchup, which takes us here to, we have the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Rams, if we can say that, at -6.5 for the Rams.
Just call them St. Louis, man. We'll treat them like
I know.
We'll treat them like San Diego.
Really?
San Diego Chargers is a St. Louis, man.
Yeah, we already called San Diego.
Bears at Rams -6.5, over under at 40.
Yeah, man. There you go. Yeah, I think your best bet here is the under, man. You have a couple more injuries on the offensive line for the Rams. I lean Rams to win just because the Bears have been so bad on offense, and I do have faith that the Rams have enough weapons, especially and on top of that being at home, to get the job done to win the game. But they've just they've hit a stumbling block here offensively for sure. Plus, you don't have Brandon Cooks, which helps balance out their outside attack. So, combine that with the Bears' offensive ineptitude and the recent surprising offensive ineptitude of the Rams here, I think your best bet is the under. I feel like that's it almost made my top 5, actually.
Yeah,
So
I love the under as well.
bet.
It does make my top 5. They said something during the Rams Steelers broadcast that I thought was very interesting. The last 2 seasons, so not this year, but the 2 seasons before, the Rams had the same starting 5 offensive linemen for all of the games. So all 32 games plus the playoffs. Now this year they lost a couple of free agency. Impressive. They've lost a couple via injury, and it shows up. And then the stuff with Todd Gurley not being as explosive either, it just shows up because so much of their offense is running the ball in play action. It's easy reads. It's simple concepts, getting guys open and getting them the ball. And they do a lot of pre-snap motions and stuff to kind of make all those decisions easier as well. Now, Goff isn't sitting in as clean of pockets. The running game isn't as good. And their offense just is not as good. They're not. So we flip it over to the Bears side. They continue to be terrible. I know they put up some points against the Lions. In the first half of that game, they were just as bad as they've been the entire season. They got a penalty gifted to them at the end of the half, and they were able to score a touchdown, and that kind of sparked them. But until that drive and that call, they were horrible on offense, the same way they've been all season. They're going to be playing a way better defense than they were last week against the Lions. They're playing the Rams. And it's not like the Rams were bad on defense last week or anything. So I like the under a lot. They are in my top 5. So that's how I feel about it.
All right. Well, it's time to head south of the border.
Fair enough.
The showdown in Mexico City. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the LA Chargers. Chargers getting 4, over under 51.5. And I loosely say at the LA Chargers.
Yes, because are you ever truly?
This one truly is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But I think I would like this with the Chiefs still iffy defense. I would definitely like this game better at 3. At 4, it gives me a little bit more of a pause, but I still lean Chiefs -4. You still have Patty Mahomes, my boy, and future first ballot Hall of Famer at quarterback for the Chiefs. So I like him. I love him to win. I still think the Chargers are not that good. I don't think they're as bad as they've shown this season. I also don't think they're anywhere near as good as they showed against Green Bay. So you have the Chiefs needing to get back on track here with a division win. I expect my boy to get the job done. Love the Chiefs on the money line. Only lean -4 because it's -4, not -3. So it's my prognosis.
The Chargers have actually covered 4 points in all of their last 4 games. So I don't know. I don't like the spread. It's not something where I'm confident in the Chargers to cover here, so I don't want to take them either. But I don't have confidence in the Chiefs. They're coming off of a loss to the Titans. So that's just not something I have confidence in. The pick I like the most is the Chiefs team total to be over 27.5. They did get to 32 last week on the road, so they'd be playing the Chargers. Nice. And the Chiefs getting 4 touchdowns, they're always capable of that. So that would be my favorite pick in the game. But I don't know. As far as the spread between the two, I don't want any piece of that action. So
too much uncertainty.
Sure. We're going down to Mexico. You got that variable in there. I don't like it.
This is a higher altitude than Denver, man. This is 7,000 feet above sea level. Conditioning will be an issue. So I mean, that's an extra variable.
That's interesting.
Yeah, too many extra variables there. I agree. Yep.
It might be a Tyreek Hill day. He looks like he seems to be very in shape kind
All
of
right,
guy.
Today's geography lesson brought to you by BigBoofBets.com.
All right. Well, that's all of them, right? Okay.
All right. That's it.
You want to hit your top five there, Chief?
We'll recap here. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go first. Why not? I'm sleeping on the job here. We got my top five. It's actually loving the bonus five here. We got a top 5 plus 1 this week again. We got the Steelers plus 3. We got the Jags plus 3. We got the New Orleans Tampa Bay Buccaneers total over 50. We have the Jets plus 2, the Cards plus 10.5, and the Raiders halftime spread laying 6.5 points.
I have the Steelers plus 3, the Jets plus 2. We got the Cardinals plus 10.5. I have the Bears and the Rams under 40. I got the Saints and the Bucks over 50. I've got the Raiders minus 6.5 at the half. And I've got the Patriots minus 3.5. And for all of our mathematicians out there, you are correct. That's 7 picks in my top 5 this week. Because I feel that good about all these, baby. I can't just hold back. I can't hold back 2 extra picks on you guys. So I'm giving you 7 that I absolutely love. That means our locks for the week are the Steelers plus 3, the Jets plus 2, Cardinals plus 10.5, Saints and Bucks over 50, and the Raiders minus 6.5 at the half. Best of luck to everybody this week, and let's get that money.
Good job, everyone, this week, man. Let's get that money.